Let's do a quick tour of the PD lobby while we're here. Just because there is some cool stuff here. I'm not sure why we have a plaque over here. Delhi Police. Oh, she's a chaplain. Okay. It's the only officer, as I understand it, that's lost her life while on duty in Delhi Township. And I'm not sure. I think that's a newer plaque. Maybe not, but I'm thinking it is. And I'm not sure if that's right out here in the parking lot or somewhere else they did that. And then I think this is Kat that does a lot of this, but they do a lot of Christmas decorations. I think they like to call this a holiday tree. Keep it more legit. Hey, sir. Morning, Rich. How are you? Long time.
Banana in hand?
Yes, I know we were talking French fries, and I meant to save a third for each of you, but I already ate half of it.
Rich, how you doing?
Good. Can I have your banana?
Good. No.
You know, it's kind of an inside joke that y'all haven't experienced yet, but I'm always going up Delhi for my fast food, right?
No,
and,
you're not.
And I pass an officer on the way back a lot of times, so I stop because I know most of them, and I say, hey, can I offer you some nuggets or some fries? And they never accept it. I let them know sometimes, hey, it's not a bribe, nothing like that.
You want water?
Yes, please.
All right.
Thanks.
First the one
Thanks,
left there.
Thank you.
The second
How you, oh, the
one.
second
Yeah,
one.
one more.
How you doing today, Skylar?
What's that?
How you doing today?
Good. Oh, sorry.
I'll give you
I
knuckles.
put shit on my hands. Good.
We used to have our handshake in our martial arts class, and it started up high, went low, Ridge handed it, and then met in the middle.
Okay, there you go.
Kind of a cool little thing we did.
What kind of martial arts did you do?
It was kind of Taekwondo based. It was Korean based.
Okay.
And then I got into the jiu-jitsu. I started with the Taekwondo stuff and then got into a little bit of the jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Kind of MMA. All of it was kind of MMA
Gotcha.
stuff.
Was it Tang Soo Do or was it? Or was it actually
Chang Han.
called- what is
Chang
it?
Han, Blue Cottage, Taekwondo. I think it's named after a Korean general that created it for the Korean armed
I got you.
forces at one time.
Yeah.
Good shoot.
Good to see you, sir. Looking sharp. You dress up for me today, or?
I always dress like that. That's why I always dresses.
Okay.
I can't get him to wear a polo like a police polo on Fridays.
What do we got to do? How many signatures do we need from the
something like that.
citizens?
He won't do it.
What do you do for 1,000 Delhi resident confirmed citizen signatures? Jeff wears polos on Fridays.
He likes
What's
his,
wrong with this chair?
Yeah.
I think the cylinder's bad.
he likes to set the standard. You know?
I think the cylinder's bad on this chair.
Well, better him than me anyway.
Wanna swap?
I gotta say.
No, you're fine.
Okay, I was about to say I can.
No, I'm just gonna look at this when I get done. Put this on vibrate.
I think we can all agree his hairstyle's better than mine. So.
Mine too.
We fall short in one area and we're strong in another.
It's easy. I cut it off every single day. Bud.
You showed my haircut. I think I showed it in the lobby, but you know how this resulted? I don't know if it's mohawking, but I couldn't find my brush this morning, and believe it or not, this was the improvement.
There you go.
You did the frohawk?
Yeah.
Yep, the bro.
Or faux-hawk, or whatever the heck they
Faux
call
hawk,
it.
yeah. There we go.
I'm not sure if I ever heard of a fro hawk, but
I think is it fro or faux?
Faux hawk.
Faux hawk.
Faux hawk.
F-E-A-U.
Yeah, because it's not shaved on the sides. You know,
Okay.
it's just just kind of.
So it's faux like false.
It's like combed up into a peak. Yeah. So.
wow.
Yep.
Faux hawk it is.
There you go. Yep.
Do y'all want some of the banana?
You want
No,
to
we're
answer some
fine.
phones?
I do it. 5 minutes a week.
No papers? Look at you.
I tried to abide by the rules, right?
Yep.
You tell me ahead of time and I can abide by rules, but then if you catch me on the back end when you didn't tell me I couldn't do it or when you told me I could do it and I do it and then I get consequences for it that aren't positive for me, that's the one that's hard to abide by.
You dropped some weight, bud.
Yeah, I don't know about since last time, but you know,
You look thinner than last
I
time.
have a lot of different philosophies than most people, including on death. A lot of people would call it ignorance or whatever, you know, stupidity or sucker, but I have a lot of faith in some of what happens with me after I die here on the secular world.
Got all your Christmas shopping done?
No, I really haven't hardly even started other than for myself. I've got myself a few gifts that came in yesterday, but I don't have a lot to buy for. I got my godchild and got a couple pools that what they call those. Everybody brings a mystery gift and.
Oh, yeah.
Like a white elephant or secret Santa type thing.
Exactly.
I got you.
I can only imagine what your gifts are, but.
Yeah, you don't know. I was going to bring each of you a gift, and one of the ideas was a wrapped, empty box, which, would be both gift giving and not bribery. So, I thought it was pretty clever, but I thought, these guys, we better, we're already coming with the messed up hair. We better not, we're offering the banana. We don't want to, bring too many
Banana's
gifts.
more than enough.
Banana's good. So what's on your mind today, bud?
Yep.
I thought I was going to try and let you all, kind of lead the meeting and control the meeting, but just to kind of get us started, I guess, a little bit of me has given up on trying to get a full understanding and ask a lot of questions, but I do have questions, but I'd like to try and focus more on solutions first. I'd emailed you and was hoping you'd come to this meeting prepared with, I think last time you had mentioned, well, one is we talked about reset as an option. I think you weren't ready for that yet, and you said if it was conditional, and I thought any kind of reset, or even in a punishment, usually you go punish and you have a deadline like, hey, you're sentenced to 3 years in jail, and maybe it'll be shorter, but it shouldn't be longer than 3 years if you behave. But I don't have that with this accountability, if that's what you want to call it, or this reaction by Delhi Township. I'm indefinitely restricted from things like walking my dog up there when everyone else can. So in terms of the solution, focusing back on that, I was hoping you'd come today with an ability to communicate to me what it is that I would have to do or not do to be given equal access, the same access in essence to restrict that letter, and if there would still be restrictions, what they would be.
So, and this is one thing I touched on last time. This isn't intended to be punitive. This isn't like you broke the law, you go to jail 3 years or whatever. This is, we have continual interactions that end up being disruptive. And when you come on site, everything stops to address whatever issue you're having. The entire machine shuts down because of whatever issue you're bringing up, whatever. I'm gonna be a little flippant here, bear with me, okay? Whatever scene is being created, okay? Everything stops. So this wasn't meant to be punitive against you. This was an attempt to control the interactions, okay? Because every time you come to the township building, or every time, and I like I said, I'm being flippant, I'm saying every time. It's not every time, right? But
I don't know what your perception is.
Okay, well,
I'm trying not to interrupt, but yes, a question is why I did.
I know, and that's fine. I won't say I'm not being literal when I say every time, but quite often, when you come in, the show stops. Everything has to be on rich gauges, and I can't have that. So if you came in and interacted with my staff, or you were on site and you were just a regular resident, okay, we wouldn't have to have any type of restriction in place, okay? You want to reset? I'm not opposed to that, but a reset isn't something, it's not an on-off button, okay? I think we've got to turn the temperature down, and I think that takes time, especially if we let the temperature go down gradually on its own. So what I propose is, let's just all calm down. Let's all calm down, and after a while of not having any issues, we'll just fade this out, and then you'll have your reset, and everything will be calm, and we'll have a new, cooler relationship. I'm not saying you go away. I'm not trying to push you away. You're a resident, you have rights, you're allowed to ask questions, you're allowed to make requests. We will fulfill those. If you've got a question of me, shoot me an email, okay? Maybe it doesn't take, a 10-hour, workload of public records requests to get you the answer you need. You and I did have that relationship once upon a time. You called me up and you said, what's this legal issue going on? Why, do I need to start asking for public records on this? I said, no, Rich, I'll tell you what it is. And I gave you the 30-second rundown of it, and you said, good enough. I can work off that. And we let that issue die. We can get back to that. That's what I want. You have questions. You have a right to be informed. I will inform you. Okay? What I don't want is you coming down and I'm gonna say it, make a scene that causes all work to stop. Whether it's getting the athletic club people involved, whether it's me getting complaints from the school, whether it's just, I've got 5 or 6 members of my staff standing in a hall trying to, be present for whatever issue's coming up. That to me, that's a loss of productivity. That's inefficient government. You don't want that. I don't want that. I have a duty and an obligation to get you the answers that you need. We will do that. But I don't want to make a scene every time it happens. So that's why the restriction was put in place, to reduce those points of conflict, those friction points. If we don't have any friction, there's no need for the restriction. So let's stop creating those points. Let's stop creating the scenes. Okay. And there'll be no need for that. We'll phase it out.
I appreciate that feedback. That's feedback.
That's my thought right now.
For me, my initial feedback to that is that the details are good where there are details, but the majority of that is very similar to my restriction letter. It's very vague. It leaves a lot of questions. Even when you said, hey, let's calm the waters down for a while, maybe that's where you need to be. Maybe after a year of time plus that you still can't give me a time frame that if the waters were cooled down, how long would it be before I got my rights back? That could be, with the information you just gave me, not only after a year.
Your rights aren't being violated, Rich.
Not only after.
I'm sorry. I just interrupted you again.
No, it's okay.
I'm apologizing.
Not only after a year do you not have that information to articulate, but after recent letters going back and forth, as recent as me saying, hey, can you give me the conditions, what's it going to take for me to get back? So with what you gave me today, I could be, excuse the phrase, kissing ass, no issues, best to my ability for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and I don't know, it's still a very vague thing, and that's what we try and get away from in a society, in my mind. When we talk about civics and a civil society, hey, these are your laws, rules, policies, revolutions. Follow these and you're not going to have a problem with government. But that's not the case here. It turns out I followed all those things, and here you don't want to call it punishment, but I want to walk my dog up out that building because it's a gorgeous building and I'm paying for it in part. But I can't do that today, even though nobody has a problem with that. A lot of what you describe with the problems we're having, when it's on my side that you're describing, the way I perceive it, is you're giving false information and likely somebody's lying. That's how I perceive it. Your information you're giving is generally secondhand, third hand, or worse. And when you say that I show up and in essence something happens and all business halts, that's more of a reaction of your staff. You ought to have a problem with your staff. Like, hey, when Rich Gates is out on the sidewalk video recording where dogs walk and dogs park, but because he has a camera, everybody has to stop working, or they don't have to. That's the point. They don't have to stop working, but they make a conscious decision to stop working and make a big deal of it. That's then used to take away things that I could previously do, in part, that now I can't do that the rest of the public can do. I was hoping you would come today with a more solid solution that, hey, Rich, here's the thing.
May I?
Yes.
Okay. My problem with what you're saying is that you end up involved. You don't have interactions with one township employee. You create these chain events. Okay. It wasn't maybe a little over a year ago where you had a complaint. Maybe it was longer than that. You had a complaint about an employee on a gator, okay, a little ATV, golf cart, whatever you want to call it, right? Utility vehicle.
About the Delhi Park?
Yep. Yeah. All right. So you have an interaction with him. Wasn't a positive reaction. Okay. Then I think you went to, I don't know, it's been so long now. You
I can tell you exactly what happened.
You ended up at like 2 different buildings. You had a sign in our window at the fire department that said "F you Dan" or something along those lines. I realize my facts aren't straight. No, that was all one incident.
No, let me tell you what happened with that incident, because I was there firsthand.
Yeah.
There was body cam at one time. I have video cam of it if you want to see it.
Okay.
And I interacted with 4 Delhi employees. 2 were on the Gator that day. One had previously made a complaint about having a cooler in the back of his vehicle with open beer cans and closed beer cans and leaving his truck running in the park, not like 100 feet or 100 yards from where the skateboard park is. Vehicle unattended. That guy had no problem with me the day that I'm describing to you now, that was the previous day.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy, they had metal things pointing way out to where when I crossed him, I thought it was dangerous, to where we crossed each other. He said he had to slow down to keep it safe. Based on code, not because park exempt from certain things, but if he's out on the street, it'd have been illegal. He ought to had a flag on it at the end and it should have been out the back. So I turned around because I wanted to get a video recording proving the unsafe condition.
I saw the video of the Gator during that day.
Yep.
There was nothing wrong with that Gator.
Okay, did you see the picture?
Yeah, I saw the video of the Gator.
Well,
I saw the video of the Gator him driving.
Safety experts would disagree with you. So that pretty much, from there I would have probably complained to Soupy because of the supervisor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That about the end of it. But what happened is that guy called the police on me. I committed no crime. He said I was harassing him, made up stuff that wasn't true. The other guy had no problem with me there.
Mm-hmm.
Police came, said there was no harassment. We had a conversation. Soupy showed up, said I did nothing wrong, and Soupy admitted that the park employee was wrong. And he said, I'll put the complaint in the folder. That part I'm about 90% sure on. The rest of it, I'm saying I feel 99% sure on.
Okay.
And Soupy and I had a conversation. I'm pretty sure that's where that one ended.
No,
I didn't go with anywhere else or do anything else on that. I interacted with, might add an email with Soupy on the back end, but that was about the end of it.
Well, you called Dan Ryan that day because you called the Parks Department.
Dan Ryan.
Yeah. So you called him. You had an interaction with him on the phone. You got mad at him because of the information he gave you on the phone.
About that incident or a different incident?
No, it's the same incident. And you ended up in the lobby over at the firehouse, yelling "F you, Dan."
Who's Dan?
Dan Ryan? Because you didn't like the information he gave you?
Yeah, I think you're mixing up your stories.
I don't think so. I think it was all the same thing.
The F you Dan thing, the Dan Ryan thing was related to the records request I made to him that he rejected on me. And that was the Dan situation. That wasn't 2 years ago, or that wasn't a year ago. That was more like 3 years ago, I believe. It should be in his file because he ended up getting a complaint that went in his file. You all scrap those out sometimes depending on the union contracts, but
he's not union.
I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure you got your stories mixed up there because I don't even know why. I was here for it.
I was here for it because
you were here for it.
Yeah,
I came to your office to complain and talk to you about Dan.
Mm-hmm.
That was a different incident completely than what happened up at the park. That happened like a year before the park incident.
I am 99% certain that is all the same thing.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure it's not. I don't think I've seen Dan. I even had to ask whether he still worked for the township. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've seen Dan since that incident. So if I have, I don't know it. But
so Rich,
this is the problem I'm running into with Delhi Township, though, is you're making decisions based on things you're feeling 100% sure about that you're factually just wrong about. Go and ask Dan about it sometime.
No, I didn't prepare for file for today, but I know that they were all.
Go and ask Dan.
They were all.
Go ask Dan when I last interacted with him. It's not going to be the park incident.
Rich, I know it was Dan because when you called him up, you were complaining about the guy on the Gator, and there was this whole question about his ethnicity.
Yeah, the guy on the Gator, that was a different incident as well.
No, I am talking about your complaint of the guy on the Gator.
The guy that I thought was speeding on the Gator.
Yes.
Okay, that's different than that happened more than a year ago. That was like 2 to 3 years ago.
It would have been.
That was before.
Year and a half, 2 years ago.
That was when you very first started. Mm. That was in the old building. I was complaining to you over here in the old building. Yeah, you've been out of that building longer than a year ago. That wasn't the year
We've been
ago.
out of the building about a year and a half.
I don't even know how we got on
Yeah.
the story, but
My
on that
point is
particular
it's-
one,
my point is it's an example. When you have an interaction with the township, you don't have a touch point. You don't have a single point of contact, and we resolve your issue. It goes from point to point to point, place to place to place. You know, if you're complaining about glass over by the recycle bin, somehow you end up at Green Township, and I get a call about that. I mean,
they made a complaint, Green Township did?
well, they said, "Who is this guy? What is he talking about?"
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
was doing? It's called journalism, investigative journalism. I see glass. I see glass all in front of the dumpster and stuff where not far from where women walk their kids in strollers.
This is my point. This is my point. What I'm telling you is every
Cut
time
off.
we have a negative interaction with a resident, that resident is Rich Gages. Now, the common denominator is Rich Gages. You are inflammatory. You incite issues. You cause the disruption. We talk to residents on a daily basis, and we never have these issues. So what I'm asking is, you to maybe take a different tact with us to calm down the waters, to lower the temperature. Every time you come to us, it starts off adversarially. There's
That is not
always
true.
friction.
It's hard when you say things like that. I think a lot of humans will interpret it as if you're speaking truth or you're even trying to speak truth. But in reality, a lot of times you're saying things, I think you're speaking in hyperbole and you know you're doing it. Because I have a lot of videos where I went up there and I'm having a perfect interaction. I'll give you one example. I go up there, I speak to Lori, I say, "Hey, are you having a busy day?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Then I'll do my public records request via email for you." And then I gave her a piece of paper. I said, "Can you read this real quick?" It took her about 30 seconds. By the time we were done, it's a minute interaction. I left, I did an email request. So when you say every time this and that,
Well, I already said it's not every single
it's
time,
not-
and I'm not trying to
please
be.
don't
it's not
interrupt me like
hyperbole.
that. I've been very,
Go ahead.
it's very hard for me to not interrupt you.
Go ahead.
So when I not interrupt you, I have the same expectation being the position you're in. And, I think your employees have talked among each other and have badmouthed me a lot. And usually when I'm going to multiple sources, what happened in the event, now that I know the event you're talking about, I can describe that one in honesty and more accuracy. I thought somebody was speeding on a gator. I asked him how fast that gator went. He said about 35 miles an hour. And he said he was trying to take it to the max. Again, right around where the kids' skate park is. That exact, the closest road to the skate park. So I went to make a public records request to find out who it was, and I did that through Mr. Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
He rejected my request. He broke the law. Y'all admitted it. He broke the law. Not only that, but you all had the wrong speed limit posted at the park. That came out through that same citizen complaint investigation. You all dropped the ball. I've already named 2 or 3 times. You got a guy thinking his gator goes 35 and he's trying to max it out. This is what he tells me. He admits to it. And then he thinks that the park has no speed limit for him. You all have the wrong speed limit posted. And then when I make a public records request, you all break the law. And then,
We haven't broken law.
well, he did not accept my
Now,
public records
that's
request.
hyperbole.
No, you admitted at the time. I stand by that. He didn't follow open records request law.
What was the record?
Anyway, you interrupted me again. I'd like to continue if I could.
You made a false statement.
And then now you bring it up. Now you bring it up as like this is the problem Rich is having. That whole incident, had I not gone to multiple places and done an investigation by doing what you now want to prevent me from doing in order for me to get back what everybody else in the township can do, and you do say it very vaguely as well, had I not gone to those multiple people, the speed sign that was wrong posted in the park wouldn't have gotten fixed the way it got fixed.
Can I ask a question, Rich?
Sure.
Do you not think that by calling Lieutenant Schmaltz or me and said, "Hey, I think this sign's wrong. Will you take a look at it?" You don't think that the same accomplishment would have happened?
Yes, but I never would have known to make that phone call because I didn't know the speed sign was wrong. The only way I knew is because I was reaching out to different people trying to understand this. I'm investigating something I don't understand. And that's something that came out of the investigation, so I wouldn't have had the knowledge to make that call.
So I think to paraphrase, and I'm not speaking for
You're fine.
Skylar, is you and I talked briefly about this when the last time we met after Skylar had to get to his meeting. Is I think that you and I have I would classify as a good relationship, and we joke with each other. We can, we poke fun at each other. We do all those things, right?
Yes, sir.
And I guess what my hope is, and I made reference to you last time, is it's just sometimes just because you can doesn't mean you should. Meaning that just because you can walk up to people and shove a camera in their face.
I don't do that. That isn't true.
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
I'm just having a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Or just because you walk up or and demand things, or it's kind of like when when you see our officers sitting in the park up there, and when they're working the park, and you walk up and flip them off. It's like, you can do that.
I don't know that that's happened. Maybe it has, but
it has.
Unprovoked. Just
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I agree with you though. Because you can do something doesn't mean you
it
should.
doesn't mean you should. So
Just because you all can take thousands of dollars, roughly half of my work product, it doesn't mean you should.
let me finish.
Just because you may or may not be.
Rich,
Sorry,
Rich,
my
let
bad.
me
Go
finish,
ahead.
okay?
My bad.
So what my recommendation is that just the whole approach to the situations when you come to one of our buildings, I don't think it's too much to ask just to tone it down a little bit. I don't think it's that the average person, if they don't get the answer they want to hear, is going to use profanity towards people in a business place, right? You do that, and most of the time you call back and apologize, and we appreciate that.
First of all, I don't do that unprovoked.
Well, that's
Second of all,
that's contextually, right?
It's very. It tends to be rare.
It's more than most, I can tell you that.
Yeah. I
More
agree
than
with
most,
that.
I'd have to think about it.
Yeah,
Could
I
be.
can tell you that in the 30
But that would make
years.
sense,
hold
right?
Hold on a minute. I can tell you that I've been here almost 30 years, and I can count on one hand how many times somebody walks up to a police officer that's performing a function in the park as an extra patrol, and they get flipped off by a citizen.
Who was that? Which
on one
officer?
hand.
Which officer?
It's been multiple.
Okay, I'd have to see that.
One time you were leaving here and Officer Goff was pulling in and you flipped her off as she was pulling in here. What? That's not provoked.
I'd have to see it. But there's
see what I'm saying?
there's reasons for that.
I understand
would
that.
you ever take your car and ram it, have it rammed into a wall?
I wouldn't want to do that.
You wouldn't want to do that. But if your job was to test how safe your type of cars were and you had a line of them, you'd start ramming them into the wall
Sure.
to test the safety. So as a citizen, before I was a journalist, before I was doing more regular government accountability, I didn't do those things. Wasn't something I did. But to see if you all respect our rights, and right now I think is a great violation what's going on here. You want me to stop doing things that I don't even understand what they are, to calm down the water, which is a very vague and subjective thing.
I haven't even finished talking yet.
Well, it started off, can I ask a question? And that's how you got the speaker panel. But then I thought you asked me a question. I was
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I can't control when you say, hey, you got to come, or there can't be a situation. If I go up there and I just walk in the building after I have an appointment, let's say tomorrow, and everybody stops working, I'm like, I just walked in the building. And it's like, hey, it's the way you were walking. Or, hey, you had that Guy Fawkes mask in your hand, or anything like that. I like to call it a punishment because I like to use the definition of it, but I don't know what you want to call it. Restricting things that I had the ability to do that I no longer have to do, based on how they perceive them, not on anything that I broke any rules or anything like that. It's highly subjective. Two, it creates a tremendous amount of power in the hands of one individual, and three, it just destroys our rights. So if you're trying to be the morals police, the values police, and not the township administrator or the police of laws, the one that upholds his oath, And you want to, what you're really doing here is you're enforcing feelings of discomfort by township administrators, by a guy that's doing government account. Watch what I think they really don't like.
So how
is
many
the accountability? Do you agree that me going up there with the camera on the sidewalk, everybody stopped working because of that?
No, they don't stop working because you're on the sidewalk. They stop working because you're videotaping through their window.
From the sidewalk.
No, you were in the flower beds, which I will grant you is not illegal.
Well, number one,
I mean, that was,
not
but,
only
but
was
you were
that not
literally
illegal,
videotaping
but-
through windows into private offices. They do have a right to privacy.
Did you ask
despite
Don
being
about
a public
that?
Employee. Excuse me?
Did you ask Don about that?
Did I ask Don about that?
Yeah, last time we talked, I told you I had pre-approval. You said, no, you didn't. I said, ask Donna. Donna gave me pre-approval to video record from that garden area the day that I recorded from that garden area.
No one gave you permission to videotape through windows.
I may have a recording of it. So, I mean,
Okay.
you're stating things. Here's where you state things where
Well, I
you weren't
disagree
there.
with
You weren't there. I was
Yeah.
there. I
She
know
doesn't
what.
have the authority to give you permission.
I don't know that. I mean,
So
I don't know that.
I understand that, but here's the thing. It's not illegal. No one's going to tell you whether you have permission or not.
But
They
you
don't
take
have the
away
authority to do it.
But you take away someone's ability to be on that property because of it.
Rich, how many people you think since that building's been opened have walked through the flower beds and videoed employees through the windows?
One is I deny that that's a factual
Hold on a
statement.
minute. I'm asking a question.
Yeah,
How many
Yeah,
you
how
think
many
have done it?
people?
have done it.
Yeah.
I would probably say none.
One.
You. How many people have gone out the front?
That's not a factual statement.
Hold on a
He
minute.
established in this conversation that
Rich, hold on a minute. This is what I'm trying to hear.
That
How
is
many
a factual
people
statement.
have stood at Rapid Run Middle School wearing all dark clothing and videotaping kids as they're going to school? How many people have done that?
that's not a true
Hold on.
statement either.
Hold on a minute. How many people have we gotten complaints about doing that?
I would imagine one.
One.
Okay.
So that's what I'm kind of getting at here, bud.
How many-
That doesn't say
How many
anything, though.
complaints do we have about people videotaping out in front of the new preschool at Delhi Town Square? We've got one complaint. That's all you.
So is
brother.
that what the problem is then?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you just described.
You are disruptive, and it's not just
What
the
you just
township
described,
staff.
though, are three examples of legal activity, nothing wrong with it, and I would make a moral case against it as well. I'd say what you're saying is...
I disagree with one of them being legal, but go ahead.
That what I did is not only legal, but also moral, and I would make that case. And what you're saying is that you're restricting my access to publicly accessible property because of those legal activities, and that has no place in a civil society. It has no place in the United States of
here's where
America, and
you-
it shouldn't have a place in Delhi.
Here's where you
Would
lose
you
me.
agree that what I just stated is true?
No, I don't, because what you did at Rapid
Could I
Run
have
was
Skylar?
illegal.
Let's take that out of it then. The
Okay.
other two incidences, that's what you want me to ratchet
Okay, so
down.
well, no, wait, hang on. So
Okay.
we're gonna pare down your activities to the point that we get to just the legal stuff, and we say, is this okay? You keep telling your
Well, that had nothing to
you-
do with the
you-
site access, so it's a separate issue.
It's a pattern of behavior, Rich.
Of legal behavior, of civil
Apparently
behavior.
it's
Rich,
not all
Rich,
legal.
Rich,
Peaceful
Rich,
behavior.
Rich, hold on a minute.
Apparently, it's not all
Okay,
legal.
so what I'm trying to do here, Bud, is I'm trying to give us a path of success in order to retract the restriction letter into what you want. Okay, we're not looking for debates and of every little incident that's happened over the last couple of years. We're not looking for that.
I can wipe the slate.
And so what we're looking for is a healthy interaction between three grown men to come up with a plan of action to say, okay, and if you and I'm a straight shooter, as you know I am.
I don't know that
come on,
anymore.
okay, that's fine.
I thought that at one point, but no more.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying to you is going back to what I said before. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And all these things, when you add them all up and throw them in a basket together, it's the totality of the circumstances that say, hey, this guy is a good guy, but he's causing a disruption. That's it. We don't ever have, we've had multiple interactions in our lobby where a lot of times you've come in here and said you were sorry. You've done it to Rich multiple times. You've done it to Jarrett. I don't, and that's what we're trying to prevent here. I don't have anything, You can come in there 8 days a week and we'll have a conversation. But the problem is when we elevate those conversations to where we get sometimes is what we're trying to avoid. You don't want it. He doesn't want it. I don't want it.
Did you behave correctly on the day that I was site restricted?
I don't understand what you mean, bud.
What I mean is, did you apologize to me for the actions that you did?
I raised my voice to you and I have apologized to you.
So apology is
Absolutely.
a sign of character. It's not a sign of like, when you say I apologize a lot, I look at that and I'm like, I'm a great guy. In that context, I admit my wrongs. It takes honesty to do that, things like that. I believe this guy's wronged me in several ways, and that there's been no apology. I was told that the day I was the day I was I talked with the apartment building, and I was approved to walk on their sidewalks up there, and you all came and I was told it was the day that I was detained, and I was told that Skylar Miller told you that I was on the grassy knoll area in the middle of that apartment building, and that for that reason I'm being detained and may lose my freedom and go to jail. Is that true?
I got to be honest with you. I have so many phone calls, but I don't remember exactly. I can
do you
look it
remember
up.
the time I was detained?
I
up there,
remember.
though? You had a long conversation with
I
him.
really don't. I really truly don't.
I remember when Lieutenant Meyer was involved in you. He investigated detention, and he was looking into a matter whether or not you were violating, the time, place, manner restriction, and he determined you were not. And he released. He let you
Okay,
go.
here's what I understand.
Okay.
Is that I was allowed to be up there, and I had a great conversation with that apartment building and the management there. It wasn't before I'd even had any interaction like this with
Sure.
y'all. I had already been up there and I visited the spot because I was looking at moving up there over a year and a half ago from the incident.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was up there considering moving in again. And I'm walking around the area, and I was told I'd already spoken with Lieutenant Meyer, and we agreed that, yeah, that's not going to be a problem. And we looked at the letter and all that stuff. And I get up there and you all come pulling up. It's right around Christmas, time when my brother died, when I'm in deep thought reflecting on that. It may have happened a long time ago, but that's where my mindset was. And they come rolling up, 2 lieutenants, officer or whatever, sergeant whatever, and they detain me. And the reasonable articulable suspicion, probable cause, whatever it is to detain me, this is what I was told by the lieutenant, is that Skylar Miller told Chief Jeff that told him that Skylar Miller said I was on that grassy knoll in the middle there, and that was off grounds, and that's why I'm being detained. Lieutenant Rich went and talked to Soupy. Soupy said that never happened. And then I was not immediately let go. Okay. I continued a detainment illegal another day after the probable cause was gone. It's gone at that point. Any reasonable or explicable suspicion, probable cause, it's out the window. They now know the facts. They didn't undetain me at that point. I'm assumed in detention until you undetain me. I don't just assume because I don't make the judge, and you continue to detain me another minute and a half illegally. And here's the thing. You don't remember that. I'm stating to you what I've been told as a matter of fact. And is that right? Is it right? I'd like you to look into that because this is a valid complaint that.
I have never singled you out. I have never told a single person on my staff, the PD, anybody, to target Rich Gages, to go after Rich Gages, to go arrest Rich Gages, to go detain Rich Gages.
To investigate?
I have never told anybody to investigate.
So when we first met up here for 3 hours, right? You and I met up here for 3 hours and talked. It was because you were insinuating that I was not stalking, but the menacing. Is a menacing investigation. You said, oh, we're just going to meet to be friends, but you started asking me about the questions I asked about John, investigator John. And that investigation was triggered by Skylar Miller based on the information you were telling me. So it's hard for me to react and maintain composure and all that when you're stating things. The things you state against me are often false information, second, third hand, and just out of context, not true. The things I'm stating that are true on my side, a lot of times I have video recording. I was a first-hand witness to it. And you're talking to me like I'm lying to you, like that isn't true and stuff. When you're getting your information second, third hand,
Rich,
and I'm a first-hand witness to it.
Let me talk. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Everything becomes a debate. We want to bring up stuff that happened 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And in order for us to move forward, we've got to stop doing this.
I agree. Let's go back to the solutions.
We've got to stop doing this.
Let's go back. My problem with the solution is that you brought today is one you had plenty of time to prepare. Let me take a step back, because I want to be as nice as I possibly can and still be efficient in my communication. I feel I'm a very detail-oriented person, and I feel when it comes to taking away access that everybody else has, that we shouldn't deal in hyperboles, that we should be as accurate as possible and as detail-oriented as possible. And you're telling me to lay down the calm down the water, and at some point in the future, no definition of when, no idea when, I guess, is it based on a feeling once you feel good about the water being calmed down?
I think we could have another touch point. Here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay. The letter, it's in effect. It cites specific incidences. It gives the reasons why. Okay. That is a legitimate letter. It is in effect, full force. Now, with that being said, and I'm using, yes, I'm using figurative language here, calming the waters, lowering the temperature. Okay. It's just trying to act civilly, in an interaction. I have civil and amicable relationships with, residents all the time, other people within the community. It's only with you that we have friction every single time. And I'm not just talking about with me, it's with other employees, surrounding communities, other community members like the schools. I'm asking you to tone it down and be civil. If you can, and here's my problem. If I put a 3-month thing on that, or I say act, lower the temperature for 3 months, 6 months. What happens at 6 months and a day? Do you feel like, okay, my probation is over, or whatever, however you perceive it, and I'm just going to go back to Rich 1.0, doing what got us in this mess to begin with? Well, you are coming to us with this idea that we owe you an apology, that you have been wrong, that you are the victim, you are the hero of your own story. And that's not what this is. I'm not the hero, he's not the hero, you're not the hero. Nobody's a victim in here. This is people trying to interact in a world together. Okay? So if you quit trying to put yourself as the protagonist, this good versus evil thing, it's a false narrative.
You're trying to control content there. You're in essence putting my ability to get my access back based on the content of things I'm saying, and that's just not right in a civil society.
It's action.
But let's look at this.
Just don't flip us off.
Let's look at this conversation, because I tried to change the direction. I think Jeff tried to change the direction, and what you gave me as a solution is again very vague. And what it tells me is, because the problem I had up at Oak Hills, I guess, the first one up at the High Town Center, was I went up to their door to ask them some questions while I was video recording the whole time I was on that site. So it didn't say daycare. I didn't know anything about it being a little kid's school or anything like that. I went up to what would look like a
preschool playground right next door.
Excuse me, please don't interrupt.
Well, no, I'm gonna correct you here.
Okay.
You cannot look at that facility and say there's no kids in that building. Did you turn it off?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. So you can't look at that facility and say this isn't a place where small children are.
I can.
Okay.
I can't now, because now I know better. Then I wouldn't have said that, but I would have said, I don't know what this place is. I don't know if it's for kids. The kids' car park could have been in the back of the building, the other side of the building. That could have been, a lot of times, it could have been a lobby office right there. I'm surprised that that's a classroom right where that door's open. Anyway, we're getting away from, I guess where we're at is you can't provide me more details than, in essence, I need to be civil and stop doing the things that I've done in the past, such as video recording. And if I'm misinterpreting that, I don't think it's an intelligence thing. I think maybe I'm just having a hard time understanding, or you're not articulating it correctly. But
the very first time we met, Rich, very first time you and I met, what did you say to me in the lobby? Do you mind if I record? What was my response? My response was, I don't care, I'll give you a copy of ours. Okay. And you know what you did? you turned yours off and we had a civil conversation.
That 2 times ago we met in
No,
here?
no, a long time ago.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
first time we met.
Okay.
This doesn't bother, cameras don't bother me at all. At all.
And they shouldn't
just
bother
trying-
the rest of the Delhi Township employees.
But here's what I'm
People
gonna-
shouldn't stop
Rich,
working
but-
because
but
somebody has
here's-
a camera.
Here's what I'm
And
gonna
if they
tell
have
you.
a right-
It's not the
Hold on,
camera, it's
hold-
your attitude. It's
Richie,
your,
Rich,
it's your actions.
Rich, hold on a second, okay? I'm not saying that we should not own some of the behavior of some of our employees. That's not.
Sure.
I'm not sitting there saying
They're
that.
human beings. We're
Should they?
imperfect.
Should they stop working and focus all their attention on you and I got to be honest with you, if you get loud or if you start cussing in the lobby, everybody's attention gets drawn to it, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
That's not the case.
It's happened here, bud.
No, not the way you just
It's
described
happened
it.
You've been in our lobby
Firehouse.
screaming
It
cuss
happened
words.
at DTS. It precipitated the
Number
whole
one, at the
situation.
firehouse, there were no civilians there. Number one. Number two, in the police department, no civilians there. Number three, when I said a cuss word,
So-
up at the High Town Center, no
I said
civilians
staff,
there.
not, you're using
There
the
were
word
never any
civilian. I'm
civilians
talking
So you're
there.
telling me
staff.
that Miss Giblin in the front office has never told you that, Rich, you got to tone it down. There's people here. I heard it myself.
I'd have to be reminded. I don't remember anything like that.
But that's what we're trying to avoid. Again, we own if some of our employees stop working and stop being efficient, but we're not dealing with robots here, bud. It's like expecting people to drive past a crash.
You're painting incorrect, out of context pictures. I don't believe that stuff's
There's
going on.
nothing that I just said was incorrect.
We're telling you, we're trying to explain to you, and yes, we've used examples from the past. I know we're trying to get away from that, but we are simply citing
So let's get back
instances
to
that
the
we've
solution.
had that have went wrong and that cause problems for us.
Let's get back to the solution, because that's
Okay.
just what Jeff said we don't want to do. That's what I've been very hard to not do since then.
The solution is chill out. Chill out.
It's-
If you've
it's
got
simple.
if you've got a question, email me. I will answer it. If you have a request, I will fulfill it.
If
But
this meeting
if
ends
you,
today, right now, as it is right now, I don't feel that chill out's going to happen.
Well,
Because the offer you're making on your side is that change your behavior, even though it's legal and all that stuff, because of our perceived moral perception of what you're doing. You need to change your behavior, and we can't cite the exact details of that behavior. Just in general, you can't be.
I'm pretty
you know,
sure we've cited them in the past.
So in other words, in order to get my access back,
You have to stop being a disruptive force.
and disruptive would be riding on the sidewalk with chalk.
Yeah. Causing scenes. Stopping.
Protesting, protesting would be
Yeah.
a disruptive.
I'm not going to violate
Rich,
your First Amendment
Rich,
rights.
here's what
but
I'm gonna
we're
tell you.
also not going to let you sit there and
That's exactly what
we're
you're
not
doing.
going to keep a chalk mural on the
Do you-
sidewalk. If you chalk sidewalks, we will wash them.
Do you know how many
That's not a
people?
violation of your First Amendment.
How
right.
many people from the
When it's
hold on a
content
minute.
based, was
Hold-
what the record shows.
Rich, hold
It's
on.
not.
Do you know how many
Did
people?
you create a
hold
new
on.
policy of
Hold
no
on.
chalking that
Hold
day?
on. Do you know how many people? And you keep bringing up.
Then Chief Doug told me on the record on video that wasn't correct.
Do you know how
What
many
you just
people
said.
from all the media stations come into our station all the time and ask us questions and they videotape us for interviews? Do you know how many times that they've actually cussed at us or flipped us off or caused disruptions in one of our lobbies? You know how many times they've done that? None.
No, but I know how many times I took a real true story to them. They were interested, but then after the fact, they never called me back. I know how many times mainstream media and those stations you're talking about, even though they're local, have sold out the public. And so what's the trust in mainstream media and those people you're quoting right there? Very low, very low. And what difference does this make and what I'm doing make? This isn't, by the way,
The problem is that you're not a journalist. You're a provocateur. Okay?
that's not correct.
It is, because here's the thing. You're reporting on issues that you're creating.
Are you saying
You-
that I
you are
haven't had a positive
instigating-
impact in context, specific issues on the community?
I don't know all of them. I don't.
Let me
want
ask you
to
this. Why would your employee thank me for the work I did on the dumpsters up there if it didn't have a positive impact? Why, when I pass those dumpsters, I don't see glass laying all around like I did before I made the complaint.
We claim
It was
our
because of
cleanup
that. It
our
was
cleanup
because of
protocols have not changed.
why. Well, that isn't true. I can give you the letter. I believe that's another false statement by you. I can give you the letter that I received. I still have the email. Why is it that I came up here and I saw in the graveyard flags laying down, roughly 40 flags or so laying on the ground against code flag, as I understand it. Problem that some vets I've asked have a problem with that. Would have taken instant action. And I go to complain about it, and you all give me the work to do that. You give me the work to do that. You say, hey, here's a phone number to call. We outsource that. A veteran organization is responsible for that. And you give me a number, I go and call it, and it's the wrong number. So I go and call other veteran organizations that they refer me to. I end up having to go back to your office. Now, you may perceive this as like, oh, I'm reaching out to different people. At this point, I'm escalating because I'm trying to do your job and you're giving me bad information. So I go back, and you all told me that your grass cutter was cutting around those flags for a while. This is a disrespect y'all had as a township to our country. Flags on the ground and you're notified of it and you don't take care of it.
When did this happen?
This happened the same day that Donna gave me permission to video record.
Okay, this is
from-
the first I have ever heard of
Yeah,
this.
because you don't experience a lot of what I experience. You take what your employees are saying is godlike, and the things that they did up there, I've done them in other places. And by the way, I didn't have a problem with the township that was my fault until you came. Once you came, all of a sudden everything's changed, and all of a sudden, we used to talk things through, but I can't get a meeting with you to talk about it for over a year. That's what you told me last time. In Delhi, we talked things through. And I've been trying to get a meeting with you for over a year. You just now gave me this meeting, and then
You have never requested an in-person meeting with me.
I don't believe that's true. I'll go back and look at it. I have to get the record on it.
All right.
But, so what do we do?
I think if you all can't come up with solid things, that's why we
I'm
have.
telling you to chill
That's
out.
why we have.
That is the solid thing.
Yeah,
Calm
but you
down.
and I
If
don't. We don't.
I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you to stop what you're doing in the sense of getting your information or even reaching out to staff. I'm telling you to have a civil conversation when you do it. I'm telling you not to be inflammatory when you do it. I'm telling you that when you show up to one of our facilities, don't make it all about you. Get your information and do what every other of the 30,000 citizens in this township do. They get their information and they go about their business. Don't be a provocateur.
How many people in Delhi Township do you know that are doing government accountability and articulating that from their?
I don't know, but I don't know if that's what you're doing.
How many
I
do you
think
know? If
you're-
you don't
I think
know,
you're-
you know me, so you know one. Do you know any others off the top of your head?
Maybe one other person that puts in public records requests with us.
But
And you
are
know
they
what?
doing it for government accountability? Are they doing news reporting as well that you know of?
I don't know if they're doing the news reporting.
So
but
that's the
but it
difference.
is. But it
That's
is.
the
No.
difference.
It is an accountability thing, and when we have interactions with that individual, they reach out to us. They request the information. We provide it. They say thank you. If there's follow-up questions, they ask for it, and we give it. And it's peaceable. It's peaceable. There's no interactions. There's no scenes.
The day that you site restricted me, that I site restricted, that was about as calm as I get. I was as professional.
If that was as calm as you get, then
Cut me
you
off.
need to. I don't care at this point.
Okay.
If that is the tone, if that is the baseline for you, then we're at an impasse.
And can you name one thing where that baseline was off that day?
You mean when you were interacting with when you were disrupting the operations of the athletic club?
By doing what?
By telling people that they were tax victims, by trying to go in the lobby, by getting in arguments with
So if
the athletic club staff because they
if
were
I
trying to
hadn't said
wash off
tax
the
victims,
sidewalk.
if I hadn't said tax victims and I said they're great heroes, is that what changes it? Is that what makes it? Makes it site restrictability?
In front of a business that's called loitering.
Who owns that
Were
business?
Were you there?
Who owns
for-
that business?
It doesn't matter.
Does the
It's a-
government
it's a-
own that business? Delhi
Yes,
own
but
that?
it's a business operation.
Okay, a government
Operation.
business.
It's there to serve a public purpose, not to be a forum for you.
Well,
or
I
anyone
didn't
else.
understand that that was limited public forum sidewalk, number one. Number two is that I was given permission to do what I did. And number three, it sounds like what you're doing is restricting things based on content. Number four, there was false information
No,
somewhere along
it's
there.
not content.
Someone lied,
I wouldn't have
and
Girl
you're
Scout
repeating
cookies
the
handed out
lie.
flyer-
When you say that I yelled at the citizens that day, number one, it's nowhere on record other than a secondhand account of it. Number two, it's not true.
And
I did not yell at
here we
the
are
citizens.
rehashing old stuff again.
That's right.
Instead of talking about common things down.
I need
So,
specifics. You can't give me a deadline. You want to hold a punishment over me indefinitely.
It's not a punishment.
So
It's
you,
how I
you
protect-
gave the
it's how I
example.
protect my staff.
If you said 6 months and I was good for 6 months, and then you drop the restriction, what's going to happen on 6 months and day one? Well, what happens if you don't give me 6 months, but after 6 months, we do what you were saying right now, and after 6 months you drop the restriction, what's going to happen on 6 months and day one? I don't understand the difference of the point you're making there.
Here's what I'm going to say, Rich, is this. That if we come in,
That's
hold
the
on,
kind
hold
of
on,
uncivil
hold on.
stuff.
If we
You look
come
at
in-
your watch like that and then give
I
a
got
big
already
sign
stopped,
and
man.
all that.
We got other meetings.
Yeah, because I'm getting frustrated.
Well, I'm frustrated too.
Well,
but you're
I'm-
acting the least civil of the three of us.
So here's what I'm going to tell you about.
Disagree.
Is that, and I'll use this in
We can
context.
continue the way we've been going. I
Rich,
mean, if that's
Rich,
where we
Rich,
are, that's
Rich,
where we
Rich,
are.
Rich,
And if I do something
Rich,
different, I
let
do
me
something
finish,
different.
bud.
Y'all are unreasonable.
What am I being unreasonable about?
You're giving me a punishment. You cannot call it a punishment, but use Webster Dictionary definitions. You're punishing me for illegal activity, no rules broken, any of that stuff. You're punishing me, and then you're giving me no way, no timeline or anything, no way, no definitive way to get back to the good graces. You're giving me vague stuff. You can name stuff and stuff like that, but it's still very vague. And that's why we have rules in a civil society, so people can obey them, so they don't get the ability to do stuff everybody else can do taken away. And right now, the power lies with you,
So,
based on very subjective
me-
rules. They're not rules that are written down and been passed or anything like that. They're rules in your mind that, based on your moral judgment,
making a
you're
moral
going to
judgment.
punish me because you think that. Here, let's talk about the kids being recorded for a sec. I watch a guy that went to one of those orphanage, and this is throughout history. There's more than one orphanage like that, and what they found was kids under the care of that orphanage were found buried, that went missing, were found buried on grounds. Video camera exposes truths like that, and without the video camera, you don't get that truth.
Hold on, brother. Wait, one second here. You're not going to equate an orphanage that is abusing children or harming them to Oak Hill School that's operating a daycare, or not a daycare, an actual.
Are you talking about
Classroom.
Oak Hills Local School District that
Yes.
had a fitness instructor that was investigated by the FBI
What
for
I'm-
distributing
what I'm
child
saying
porn?
is, let's ask.
They should be investigated
there
with
are-
cameras
there
when they had on
200
staff some.
Let me ask you
Just
this.
Why don't you answer that
Hear me
question
out.
instead of just looking over
There
it?
are 200 children that go through that
We ain't getting
building
nowhere, Jeff.
every single day.
Y'all can't
Monday,
define
Tuesday,
what I need to
Thursday,
do?
Friday. Let's ask their
You want to
parents
make
if
up
they
laws
want
that
you
don't exist
videotaping.
that only Rich Gages has to abide by?
So let me ask you this question. My question is this: can we have a civil conversation?
I don't know. I think he's been the least civil between the last two meetings. You and I haven't had main problems in this kind of setting before, but in the last two meetings, you and I have had problems that we haven't had previously.
We have.
And this is
What problems have I had with you in the last 2 meetings, bud? I don't want to. I don't. What I don't want to do, bud, is just keep hashing and rehashing.
what I'm asking
and
for is
rehashing.
very simple solution. You tell me what I can't do when I go up there that's going to restrict my rights, and don't make it stuff that's content based or that's clear. What you're trying to do is you're trying to force upon me.
A civil behavior.
No, not civil.
Yeah, that's all I want.
That's the only question.
Nothing that I've done is uncivil.
Disagree.
Okay.
I
So
want
what
you
you're
to-
trying to do
I
is
want you to act amicably
civility
to
is
the
very
staff.
subjective, right? Is civility subjective?
Not to most people.
Not to most people?
No, not
Do you
to
think
most people.
civility
I'm
to most
asking-
people is follow the law, follow the rules, follow the resolution? Is that what
So-
most people consider civil?
So have you ever
No, I think that's just legal.
Have you ever had a problem with any of our other businesses in our community? Has any other business complained on you in the past? McDonald's complained on you,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because they didn't fill your Coke all the way up. How many people?
I think their complaint was because I wasn't driving away from their drive-through because I said, hey, if I'm not leaving unless I'm being trespassed.
How often do you think we get that call?
I don't know.
Not very often, but
That's fine.
okay. So what I'm saying to you
In that
is,
case, I would have been breaking the law if that was the case, and I would have been kicked off.
Nobody's-
But what happened there? What happened is within hours, me and McDonald's made friends again. After a year, this guy can't make friends with me after a year. Right now, I don't have any problems
Rich,
with anybody in the
Rich,
community
I don't need
other than government people.
Rich.
And I didn't really have those problems at this extent until I started doing government accountability.
Rich, I don't need to be your friend. You don't want me to be your friend. You want me there to do a job, and if you have questions, answer your questions and fulfill public records requests. That is my duty to you, right? I am being paid to run a township, the day-to-day operations, to oversee them. If you have an issue with those, you let me know, and I will either investigate it, I will report back to you, I will give you the answers that you seek.
Is it true when I made a complaint about John that you said you hadn't spoken to anyone about it and you didn't know much about it and that you weren't going to investigate it?
John who?
John, Inspector John.
John Inspector John. That was
John, who's
John
zoning,
Schill.
zoning
Yeah,
John.
Schill. He's gone, by the way.
Remember when was trying to make a complaint about him and that was your feedback?
To him. You wanted to complain. You complained about him because you two were talking to each other through a window.
I complained because he's yelling at me and disrespecting me.
Yeah. Well, and I was inside that building. There was no screaming. There was no yelling.
You told me you wouldn't do any investigation, right?
Yeah, because it was a ridiculous.
And you told me you didn't
request.
speak to anyone about it. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Well,
And then when I complained that same employee had made a complaint in essence relating to corruption of the trustees, and you said that you did an investigation on that, and I asked for the documentation. There was no documentation relating to that investigation, right?
What was there to document?
The people you spoke with, the investigation you did. In other words, if I had an employee that said trustees are doing this and it's illegal, wouldn't you go and talk to the trustees and say, hey, were you doing this illegal, or wouldn't you outsource it or something? Wouldn't you document the process you went through?
What's the legality issue?
That they were giving, that because of preferential treatment that they were giving to the local church they were attending, in essence, that church was giving preferential treatment to overlook zoning violations.
So here's the great part about this. The trustees have nothing to do with zoning. They approve the resolution and it's all administratively done. There's nothing to investigate because they don't sign off on zoning certificates. They don't.
Why'd you tell me you investigated if
they
there's
have
nothing to
zero.
investigate?
There's nothing to investigate because they are separated
What if
from
they
that
tell
process.
what if they tell the priest to tell the zoning inspector that the trustee said that don't worry about it? Tell them that the trustee said not to worry about it.
They still don't have it. They are completely separated. They do not have
That
the
wouldn't be
ability
worth
to do that.
investigating.
They don't have the authority to do it.
Okay, that's fine. So you can't give me specific details. You just want me to be civil indefinitely, and at some point in time, you may or may not either phase back some access
You know what?
or.
Today was step one. I wanted to see if we could have a civil conversation, and you just wanted to go tit for tat. Put a camera in my face, and
The camera's
you
the
know,
problem again.
No, it's
You're
not.
roughly,
It's not a
You're roughly
problem.
one,
The point-
2, 3. You're
the
roughly
point-
4 arms away from the camera, and it's in your
I
face. So
understand.
every time he
That's not my
says
point.
that,
This
you
is-
put the
this is
camera in
what
their
we're talking
face.
about, bud. This is what we're talking about.
No, he just made
Hard stop,
accusations
gentlemen.
against me that are false.
Hard stop. We're done.
He's making accusations against me that are false, and you want me to just swallow that stuff.
I'm not.
Rich, at the end of the day, if he made the same statement to me, I could care less.
So this conversation we're having right here, this is the kind of conversation that will prevent me from getting my access rights back.
This was supposed to be step one.
Actually, yes or no question. You can't answer that one, yes or no?
Yes, this
Okay,
was.
so
this
my
was-
behavior today is the kind of behavior that's preventing me from getting my site access back.
Today was an opportunity for you to give me a reason to create a path forward for you to get rid of that restriction.
And you weren't given that reason today.
I don't see any reason to do it.
Can I throw this in here?
Yep.
Thank you. And the things I did
Hard
today.
stop, gentlemen. I do actually have meetings today.
What time is it?
It's after 10 or after 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for meeting with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sorry we didn't get anywhere, and I'm probably going to escalate from this meeting. So if you want to start escalating and prevent me from traditional public sidewalks and shit, you do what you need to do.
No,
And I'll do what I need to do.
We have no desire.
No, I'm very upset at this point. You all berated me. You all made several false accusations against me, and especially you.
Put the
based-
camera back on if you're going to do that.
based on second and third hand information. You weren't there for 90% of what you're claiming as fact. And I'm telling you, I got video. Will you accept and look at the video I send you? Will you accept and look at the video I send you? No answer. Public servant walking away. He's wrong, Jeff. He's just dead wrong.
So here's
He's dead wrong.
I got a meeting at 11.
Y'all are dead wrong.
Okay, this is Jeff and Rich talking now, bud. You're missing what I was trying to explain here. You're missing that totally, bud.
It's all my fault.
It's not your fault. I'm giving you
That's what he left on. He left on that. It's my
he's
fault.
gone.
What happened here today?
He's gone.
You go back and look at this video and you analyze it.
I don't need to go
And
back
you
and
watch
look at it.
after you
I'm
made the
sitting there,
statement.
bud.
After you made the statement that
This is why it doesn't work.
Yep,
Because you
yep.
keep interrupting us.
Yep. Yeah. You look at this and you see where the interruptions came from. Look at it and see where the interruptions came from. You want to watch this right now and see where the interruptions came from? You're going to see he interrupted a lot
Stop.
more than I did.
Please stop.
He interrupted a lot more
Please
than I
stop.
did.
We don't need grandstanding. We
I'm
don't
not
need talking to the
grandstanding.
camera. We need to talk like human beings. All I'm
We
telling
need
you.
to talk on the
Can
record
I
because
talk?
y'all lie about me.
I don't lie
I'm
about
very
anything.
upset now.
Okay.
I'm very upset. This
Stop.
is as calm as I get.
Stop.
And I have disabilities
Stop.
related to this exact type of thing.
Stop. 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 This is Jeff to Rich. Okay? You got to tone it down a little bit. You can't, when you don't like something somebody says, you can't start grandstanding to your camera. We talk through it and work through it, bud. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I'm not grandstanding to the camera. That's a false statement. And that's not what I'm doing.
It's
in
an
this
opinion.
meeting.
It's not a false statement. When you start talking like that and narrating your video, you're grandstanding to the camera.
I'm giving my opinion to the camera.
You're
my
narrating to the
perception.
camera.
I'm narrating to the camera.
Same thing.
Grandstanding and narrating, same thing. Okay, I agree with you then.
Okay? Same thing, bud. All I'm saying to you is all that the request is, it's like when I deal with my kids, and they're both grown now, so I don't have to do this anymore. If I took something away from them, they didn't earn it back until they started acting right. No different here. If you can come be civil and I can report back to the township, hey, Rich came in today. It was a great conversation, great interaction. Go to Doug, great conversation, great interaction. Go to the parks and you're going through the parks, great interaction. Those are things that we can report back and say, hey, I think Rich deserves a shot to get this restriction lifted. But every time that you hear something you don't want to hear, you start losing it. And it's a term, not a physical being. That's all I'm asking you to do. I'm doing my best here to make these interactions happen. And you think I'm being adversarial to you. I'm not. I'm trying to mediate this stuff. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm spending time with you. I'm taking this step with you. You got to understand that you can't go in lobbies and disrupt service and business.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
And I can't control other people.
What you can control is what? You can control from this day forward. I will agree 100% with you that if our employees, everybody in the building stops do what they're doing and comes and sees you, then that's a me problem. I understand that. I agree with you when you say
And when it
that.
happens on the admin building,
That's what I'm
it's a
talking
Skylar
about.
Miller problem. And nobody's wanting to face up to the Skylar Miller problem except Rich Gages. I'm pointing these things out. He's stating things as fact,
Okay.
and he's hyperbolizing in other places when he doesn't have the facts. I have the facts because I was there.
But here's what I'll tell you.
Listen, if you went out there and one of my buddies started saying stuff about you that wasn't true, based on stuff I told them, you probably have a problem with it, especially if it started affecting your life and your relationship. And if it started affecting your job and things like that. Let me ask you this, do you think he has a problem with the camera?
I don't think so.
Why would he make a statement in that meeting like I'm putting the camera in his face? When you bring the camera and put it in our face, that's I have a problem with the camera statement.
Yeah, you can record me all day, but it doesn't.
No,
bother me.
I don't think
It doesn't bother me.
you're the secondary problem.
I can't answer.
This is the main problem. You can answer your perception of what's going on.
I can't answer to that. I can't answer.
You can answer to your perception of what's going on.
My perception to is the average citizen.
He clearly has a problem with the cameras.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Okay. Should I answer the first one, or should I wait to answer both questions when you ask me another question?
Just a second one, Ellie. This is the one. Appreciate that.
Okay, good.
Is it true that you all are video recording right outside the entrance to the Oak Hills child thing?
If I were to answer that question, it wouldn't be a fair answer because I honestly don't know.
You all record that. When I request video of that, you give me a video with a child on it, unredacted. That's what I've gotten.
Okay.
So you record children in that area. I didn't record children in that area that day. I went up to a door to ask a question, and I'm being punished for doing that when y'all are doing what most people would consider would be
a security camera?
A similar thing, security camera accessible to the public. So if you don't want kids recorded,
I think if you asked 99 people out of 100, they would disagree with you.
Then you haven't seen the First Amendment audit videos
if you show,
on YouTube.
I will tell you
where
this.
Everyone from retired police
here's
to
here's what I'm gonna tell you about.
Yep.
Is that when you start going?
Well, we got a problem going forward anyway. I mean, this is not a resolution meeting. He can't. I now know why he doesn't want to meet. He can't negotiate in good faith. This is not good faith meeting. Y'all are not doing the right thing here, and we're not on an equal ground here. We're not on equal ground here.
You're narrating to your camera instead of talking to me.
No, I'm thinking out loud.
You're narrating to your camera.
No, I'm thinking out loud. I'm articulating what's on my mind. I have a person that
you can say that.
What they're thinking is what comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Is what you're doing here is you're putting me down.
I'm not putting you down.
Maybe I'm narrating to the camera, but I don't think I am. I'm thinking out loud here is what I'm doing on the fly, and you're making me. You're saying things like I'm doing something bad, narrating to the camera, and that's bad when that's not even what I'm.
When did I say it was bad?
What's on my mind?
I said let's talk like human beings.
It didn't start out as narration. It started out as grandstanding, and then you equated grandstanding to narration. That's how it started. That's a bad connotation.
Okay, come on. Come on, I gotta get to another meeting.
I'm coming.
I gotta get to another meeting.
The reset wasn't a place I wanted to be. I came a far way to come to that middle. And nah, this wasn't a shake hand meeting. You doing that for the grandstanding for the camera there, Jeff?
No, I shake your hand every time you leave. Your camera was off last time.
You record every time I show up just because I want to show up. With one exception, two exceptions. Was the last meeting adversarial?
Yeah.
Was your policy to record when there's an adversarial meeting?
It's Rich.
You broke your own policy?
Have a good day.
Yep, you sure did, and you can't admit it now. You could say, yeah, I broke my own policy because I was in the midst of the meeting.
Have a good day.
But you don't have the integrity to do that, do you?
Scanning your camera.
You don't have the integrity to do that.
If you keep interrupting, we're never going to have a conversation again.
Go look, watch this video. See who interrupts. He wants to make shit up.